man, I am so exhausted. Like this energy is draining or something. Man, I'm exhausted. And I swear to God, I'm a bit of a paranoid, but I would not go out and to get a gander at this fucking eclipse situation. I think that they're going to I think they're going to do the chemical thing, especially because there keeps being these weird ass clips. Like there's ones that people share from news over there on the more on the East Coast, I guess. And one was this news guy who said, "Oh, this is the strangest thing, this earthquake, 140 years, or anything like that." But the one that we're about to have on the eclipse, that's what is really going to be the problem. It's like, oh, okay, so he's seeing the future. He knows there's about to be a bad earthquake with the eclipse, and then somebody is at the eclipse at one of the places. I don't know if they live there or what, but she's going around all the things set up and going around to stores, and she said everything has got aliens everywhere. And she's like, why are they pushing aliens like it? But this is the first eclipse that there's ever been so much about aliens. And like one weird t-shirt showed somebody sitting there looking up at the eclipse, and they were a skeleton. So I don't know what they have planned. And the thing that gets me too is that the thing that there is going by is Nibiru, and that is been said that it's a spaceship. It's not a planet. Just like the moon was supposedly an old craft that had been abandoned, and they move it around and use it as like a luminary or something. And but it's supposedly it's left our area. The moon was moved somewhere else, and that's what they keep showing is like some kind of, I don't know, a hologram or something. And they keep shutting, I don't know, this whole sky is so fucking weird. But so if they're going to be shooting the rockets, so then I was like, okay, well, it seems like they want to try and shoot them out of the portal. Like they think that all of this atmospheric stuff is going to give them a way to take some kind of action or something. Or are they going to be shooting at the Anunnaki or something? There is so much cloud footage right now that you can see spaceships are everywhere up there. Like, I can't imagine that that is all holograms. I think that we have support, whether or not they, come to us and stand and say, hey, we're here to help you or whatever, or if they're just up there showing the other people, that they're on our side, like they can't do certain things. I don't know, but whatever's going to happen is more like written in the stars. Like it's going to happen, whatever it is. It's the big thing probably that turns everything around. And one good thing is in Zimbabwe, they are on the gold standard now. They've got a new gold-backed note. That's going to be, I think everybody's going to have this gold-backed note. I think it's called like a freedom note or something like that. Or a rainbow note or something. Something like that. But it's going to be like we'll all have them. So that's a good sign. And they got a huge amount of gold and all that. So that's what we'll have. And somebody I also heard was saying, maybe when all of this, this guy was, let's see, Laura Eisenhower did an interview with Nino and some Alex Collier. I think it was Alex Collier who said that when this sun and moon cross, which I don't think they're going to cross is a thing, that they're going to stay together for 3 days And so it will be a blackout for 3 days. And in that time, that maybe that's when they would put through the money, so that when everything came back on, then we would be on that money. I don't know. That'd be cool. That's when you'll know things are really taking a big turn, once the bank goes down here. But there's some big event that still has to go. And there's still nature stuff. And it's so weird how people, like, they try and mock nature. Like, they try and act like, oh, you tried to get us, but you didn't win. It's like, I would not be messing around like that. You gotta, I mean, Mother Nature is, it's like whipping her tail to get respect. Like, she's showing her power. And I think it's, you got to respect it. And she's going to change things. Like, she's not going to stay the same. The land masses are going to be changing. And so that's a big part of what's going to go on too. And I don't know, there's just, I can see definitely the split. The split is like between like natural and artificial. And those of us who are learning to trust nature and trust ourselves and our instincts, and going towards being our own powerhouse in our own healing journey, taking control of our lives, figuring out how to find power behind where we feel like we have nothing, like where we feel that there is powerless, to find your power, to search for it. Oh yeah, and this is my nose is so stopped up. It hasn't been either, but this morning there was this was so weird, because I was sitting in the house. It was like 6 in the morning, and I think Stella was asleep even, and all of a sudden there was this loud explosion sounds. So I went to the door to see what it was, and when I opened it, I started to videotape it, and it was fireworks. So it's beginning of April, or the first week of April, and it's kind of an odd time to all of a sudden pull out the fireworks. And Saturday morning, before people are even up, and then just a whole bunch of fireworks. And so then it was like a little while later, I opened the door to do something, and I was like, oh my gosh, it smells like smoke. And then so I said something, because this is the thing, is people have got, it doesn't matter what happens here. The thing is people got to start looking at things and seeing and paying attention to what's going on around them. So I'll talk about it to try and bring awareness, to get people to be like, oh, something like happened around my house. Maybe I should pay attention. You know what I mean? Try and get them to to kind of tune into their reality. And so I had said something about the smoke, I think. And then somebody was very, very concerned, I need to call the cops and all this stuff. And, and I'm sure I sound kind of kooky to them when I'm like, well, whatever's going to be is going to be. Like, I don't feel like you can just get all like panicky, like every little thing. Like, you just have to have awareness. Like, if fireworks start going and then you start smelling smoke, then it's like, okay, so they could very well be starting a forest fire. And then, we're going to be evacuated at some time. And who knows where the forest fire could be? Like, at what point, when a fire is going, do they start telling us that there's a fire and it's out of control? And then they always have the cover stories. Oh, it was kids playing with fireworks. Oh, gosh, it was some kids. It's never them. It's never them putting out drones and fucking shit, starting shit on fire and stuff. It's always some hokey story. And so then when Stella wanted to go out for a walk, because we did fall asleep for a while, and then we went out for a walk, and I still just am like dragging. I'm so tired. and it smelled like chemicals. It smelled like smoke at first, and then we kept walking, and then as we started to come back, I smelled so strong of chemicals. I was like, oh my gosh, it smells so, and it's like pungent. I don't even know what it's a horrible smelling, and it's so strong. And I don't know if it smells like that right now, because there keeps being just these weird smells. So anyways, I just think you got to pay attention. And there's no telling, like I've been saying for so long, I know that they're spraying us and dumping chemicals on us and shit. And I'm sure and all this stuff always has like larvae and stuff in it. I saw some video of a guy showing his friend's blood testing, and it had a live worm in it. And he was like, you guys better wise up. And I don't even know how the hell you get a live worm in your blood system, in your bloodstream. Like, I mean, it's one thing when it's in your stomach and it's in your gut. And even, you know, if it can chew its way out of your stomach or your gut or something, which that would give you some serious problems. And then I don't know how it would get in your blood. Like, there has to be some kind of a contamination. But where does something have access to your blood? Like, you have to have an opening. That's the whole thing between like AIDS and these, you know, these sicknesses. Hep C, you know, it can be transferred through your blood, but you have to have access to the blood. Like, it has to be somebody cut themselves and their blood was on the counter, and then you went in and set something down and the germs got on your thing. And the hep C, that lives for a while. That HIV doesn't live very long on the counter. But you know, to be able to get worms inside your blood, like, I don't know. I keep thinking about it, being like, man, could that, maybe it's fake. I don't know. I mean, it looks like a slide, and you can see this worm moving around, and he even said what kind of worm it was. It's, man, I just don't know. Like, if you got you know, contaminated blood transfusion or something, or you cut yourself in the dirt, and then some larvae got into your system, into your blood system. But it would have to cut pretty good, because a lot of times, like, the blood is going out, so it's kind of like washing. It's like a germ trying to fight the current to get into you. So I don't know, it's very strange. But everything, you know, is so strange in this fucking shit going on. Like, everything is so weird. And but if so, in the place where they have the whole eclipse thing going, and if they have because they have these hospitals and stuff like that. Yeah, there's this woman, I don't even know who the hell she is, and she was saying they've been getting prepared for this for 2 years. They're so concerned. There's all this, you know, they're sure there's going to be this serious medical stuff that they've been getting prepared for. Well, that sounds like a well, staged event, but like a big, you know, like the towers going down or something. Like, I mean, it's so hard to even fathom what they have in mind. Like, are they going to try and shoot rockets at Nibiru, and then they're going to say it's firing back at us, and they're going to start shooting at us? Are they going to disperse some chemical and then say it came from the planet, like the one guy said, and then all of a sudden people are just going to keep getting sicker and sicker and sicker for over the next month or two? Could be. I mean, it definitely seems like something is up their sleeve. The only thing that, you know, makes you feel hopeful is that if this is the thing that finally turns it the other direction, because we've had this stuff hanging over us for so long. And I don't know, you wouldn't think that this would be the thing, but I don't know. There's a lot of weird stuff. I guess they are trying to turn CERN on, but they can't get it to come on. But their other one over by New York, somebody had it on because somebody was getting footage, and it was like lightning. And then lightning even came down and struck the Liberty lady. So I don't know. There's a lot of stuff that is happening. And no matter what, like that we are at a time where we're at an ending. Like this is the end of this other life or lifestyle, especially this phony. It's so phony and artificial. And I don't know. I heard somebody saying that, I think it was Laura Eisenhower was saying, you know, that people will be waking up because they're following this artificial, nothing's gonna go right. Like when you go in with their medical and stuff, everything's gonna keep going wrong, and that's gonna push people to go more towards the natural way, which I think too. I just don't know how long this is gonna drag out, like how long we're gonna be like going like this. You can definitely see though that, you know, these people over here think a certain way. Oh yeah, because this weird video that came up this morning, and it's so weird. And I've got like, right away you get these people who just come in and attack you, and you say anything back to them, you get, and I went in to check, and these all look like legit accounts. You say anything back to them, you get guideline restriction. Like, I'm so sick of these fucking bullshit. But right now, both of my accounts are so interfered with too. So it always happens. Every time there starts being activity, it's like they just like button it down or something. I don't know. So this is in Seattle, and it is this person who is a public defender and went to go meet their client, and it was on video. And I don't know if they were trying to get this person on video or just happened this way or whatever, but it is a trans person, and it is the most I can't even get over it. It is such mockery. And that's the thing too, is so many of it's like a mockery of being a woman. And so this person is like, it seems like really tall, like very masculine, but deep voice. Definitely doesn't seem like it's tried to even change their voice. So, which, you know, that's strange. And then we're in a low cut. Well, I don't know how she could even button up the shirt. Like the boobs. Yeah, I don't know if you ever saw the video of that teacher. And those had to be fake boobs. They were so ridiculous. They were like ginormous. That's what this person looks like. Some people are even saying it's some kind of prosthetic. It's not even real boobs. I don't know. They're humongous. The shirt is way low cut down, so way unbuttoned with this giant ass cleavage, these giant ass boobs, this big old guy in a skirt, a short skirt, and I'm pretty sure he had a short skirt. I don't know. You'd have to look at the video again. And this big bosom thing hanging out, and so much makeup. Oh my God. And the thing that is so wild is, like, if we went into court like that, how would a judge look at us? If we went in, like, we'd be treated like some kind of street walking slut drug addict or something. And this is like the public defender gets to go in there and act like this. There's supposed to be a thing where you have a certain respect towards the court. Like that, I don't know what it's like now. But it used to be like if you were going to go to court, you had to dress a certain way. You had to present a certain way. And even over like in some of the other countries, they still have to put on like robes and stuff. Like everybody, I think if you there's some places it is like you have to put on robes, you have to put on all sorts of stuff. It's not like you can just go walking in. And so this is like, it's not even just a slap in the court's face, which it's all a mockery anyways. Our court system is a huge mockery, and maybe that's what this whole thing is just to draw attention to what a fucking, because there should be like this decorum, like a certain presentation when you go to court, that you present yourself as humbly, respectfully asking the court, you know, because the court is overseeing all of us. It's such bullshit. But still, like if you're somebody who works for the courts, and that is so anyways, the whole thing is like such a mockery, and I don't even know. The guy, the reporter person was trying to ask the public defender some more questions, and they were just like kind of short and rude, and saying how great their new client was. And the person was like, yeah, but they did blah, 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 blah. Oh, no, that's fine. I was like, okay, so everything is, I don't know. It's like the absurd stuff. It seems like it's all for awakening stuff. It's all to get people to like pay attention and see like, oh my God, this is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. If this person goes in like that when we wouldn't be allowed to go in like that, you know, and they're supposed to be presenting a certain image. And then to be so much of mocking women, like, oh my God. And then you say something like, you know, that about the mockery of the female mockery that is going on. And I don't know if it seems like real people, but they get, you know, they get mad about it at the women complaining about it. Like, we should just be going along with it. We should just be, this one person was saying the weirdest stuff. People just say the weirdest stuff. Now, to this point now, I'm just like, I don't even know what the hell you're talking about. I don't even know. I'm not even gonna try and figure it out. It's like either we're on the same wavelength or we're not. I can't just keep trying to figure out what the fuck you're talking about. And you know, and the whole thing too, to me, is like, I'm trying to tell people how to, you know, improve your life, improve how you feel about yourself. And you know, and one thing too I will say about the energy coming into the planet, and how that you got all these love and light people sitting around like, oh, the energy is just change, it's raising your vibration, and it's taking you into 5D and all this stuff that they say. And I'm like, no, the work's not gonna be done for you. You have to do the work. But what I will say is that the energy that is coming in is to promote you to look at the things that you have kept hidden, the things that you hide from. And I was just talking to some guy, and he was saying how it improved his life. You know, he said he had to go and apologize to everybody he'd ever met practically, and how that had improved. It's because the truth will set you free. When you can face yourself, it sets you free. You don't realize how much you're trying to hold on to hide, to keep your storyline. You know, once you let it go, once you just face it and face the truth, and quit trying to keep something together that doesn't need to be held together, then the more that it frees you. It truly is. The truth has set you free. Like the keeping yourself bound in lies and fakeness and stuff like that. But see, that is what all these other people have to like learn. They have to learn the fake, phony world is it's toxic to your soul. Like you have to I don't know. It's like you have to become aware of it. You have to notice for yourself. Nobody can convince you. It's like it's like a woman being in a house with somebody who's super abusive to her. She has to realize she's being abused. You can't convince somebody. They have to realize it. They have to wake up to it. And then they have to decide to do something about it. Take control, not feel like you are the victim to somebody else's existence. Like, people have to learn their own power. And sometimes you have to walk away from situations and people that you don't want to, but you have to decide. Do you want to, if somebody doesn't know how to treat you and continues to treat you bad, and you keep staying, well, then it's you, it's not them. They aren't doing it. You're doing it because you're allowing you know what's going on and you continue to stay. So that is where you have to take control and it's like elevate yourself, to stand up for yourself, to say, and in some cases it can be a long-term relationship where you've just developed these patterns where you are the doormat. And, it can be really shocking to the person when you all of a sudden say, hey, don't take your bad day out on me. Your bad day is your problem, not mine. And so, that can really throw somebody for a loop if they're used to being able to come home and just unload on you, unleash all their anger and resentment and all their built up pressure throughout the day, come in and just bash you. And, so many people carry that. So many people live in those kinds of situations. And then the person comes home and bashes them. And then the person who's doing it feels better, but the person who did nothing feels worse. But you did do something. You didn't stand up for yourself. You didn't set a boundary. You didn't say, no, I'm not taking this. No, I can't let you ruin my day because you had a bad day. You got to figure out a new coping skill. Stomping around on me isn't going to work out anymore. And those boundaries, and especially in established relationships, are difficult, because you've got such toxic patterns. And so it takes, one person to start saying, hey, we got to do something different. And you sometimes you can be honest with the person and say, hey, you're making me really resent you. It makes me hate for you to come home. I want to enjoy my life. And a lot of times it's somebody else's own bad attitude that is their reverberates back onto them, and then they don't like it, so they come home and throw it on you. So very well as their own creation of the energy, but then they don't take it on and go into reflection or try and notice what it is that they're doing that's toxic or try and improve their behavior. They just shed it and onto you. And so if you're the carrier of all of their toxic behavior and their bad mood and stuff, that's a shroud of dark energy. You have to pull yourself out of that. Nobody deserves that. Like, don't ever feel like because somebody treats you bad that you deserve that. Like, it's real easy because we've all been, abused and beat down and feel bad about ourselves, and to feel like you deserve somebody else's bad mood, but you don't. Like, nobody should be putting their bad mood on somebody else. Like, if you have a bad mood, I even feel bad when I'm reactive to Stella, and she, when I'm tired, that's my worst. It's like when I'm tired and she's like harassing me to do something. It's like, oh my God, I don't want to go. I don't want to do another fucking thing right now. And then I feel like, I feel bad. But there's people who go way further. I've been around people. Like, I've lived some of these things. I have, why I can see it, why I can know it. Like, I know certain behaviors and patterns and stuff because I've lived in these situations. I've lived in places, in times where You know, people just dump all their problems on you. And then they go about their business, and you're feeling burdened by all the stuff that they have done. And you can't, what can you do? So, is what you can do is you got to learn how to set your boundaries. And that is, you know, what I'm talking about with all this energy and stuff. It's going to make those things seem way, way worse. Like right now, if you're going through something, it's just going to keep getting worse and worse, bigger and bigger, because you're not standing up for it. You're not standing up to it. You're not taking action. You're just sitting back and waiting for someone else to change. You're waiting for that person to notice what they're doing wrong. You're waiting for, it can be numerous things, but you know, there's a lot of people who are waiting on damn Jesus. Damn Jesus is supposed to come in and fix all this stuff. So nobody has to heal. Nobody has to grow. We can continue having people who abuse animals and just have no harmony with our earth or anything, and it will just all be fixed, and these behaviors will continue. The reason the behaviors stop is because they have to feel their own, it's like feel their own energy. It's like they have to, it's like bear witness to themselves. This is this time of mirrors. So this, any of the things that people are doing are going to be getting bigger and bigger and bigger, so that you have this feeling of like, like you can't hide from it. It's just, it's so big. And I'm sure if there's people who are trying to remain in toxic relationships right now, it's got to be so intense. And you know, a big thing is just learning your own power to set boundaries. And you know, sometimes maybe you do have to say, hey, I need a break. I gotta, you know, go to my mom's for a couple weeks. I've got to, you know, go get my head straight. You know, you've got me down all the time coming home. You know, all the drama you make at work, and then you come home and dump it on me like it's my problem. And that is a burden. So you got to, you know, stand up and say, and if they can't fix their behavior, and behaviors are not that easy to fix. Like anybody who's been listening to me, if you've been trying, you know, like it takes a lot to change bad behavior. You have to be aware. You have to catch yourself. You have to start coming up with different things to do, because, you know, there are patterns. They're automatic responses. Like this happens, you automatically do this. This happens, you automatically do that. That is the lower chakra. So the more you work on your healing, the more you will come up, you know, and you'll feel things differently. When you get up in your heart chakra, you're going to feel everything is going to, like, there's a reason why you don't open up into your heart chakra or open up into your throat chakra. There's a reason why you have to go up towards it, why you have to work in that direction. You know, people couldn't just, I mean, you got people who still can't speak their truth. Like, I don't even know the statistics on how many people out there who even have accounts who are speaking their truth. I see so many accounts, like creator accounts and stuff, and they do duets or just share other people's information and stuff. You know, speaking your truth and taking a stand on what you believe, that is, you know, a different level. And, you know, so it's working up to those levels, because that is a lot when you start saying, especially because you'll have people coming at you saying you're crazy, saying you're stupid, saying all sorts of stuff. I mean, you got to just be like, yeah, well, whatever you think. I don't care what you think. Like, if you think I'm crazy, then, you know, we're not in alignment. That's fine. Like, we are all at different vibrations. We are not all birthed at the same vibration. We come from different places. We come from different vibrations. This game that we come in here is to learn and to grow, you know. So it is an expansion. It is like an expansion, a game that teaches you how to do better, to learn, to grow, raises your vibration. So So, all the, uh, I don't know, it's just all different. But you can't get all worried about, like, oh, well, this person doesn't understand me, so I guess I need to change. I must be wrong. No, they could be completely of a different vibration, not have any idea what you're talking about. So you can't worry about that. And then the heart chakra. Like, if everybody was having to feel on such a deep feeling of other people's pain when they're still so focused, they haven't moved out of their own, like that would be too much. You have to go through the process. Like, you have to start in your lower, in your root, in your um, root and the sacral chakra. So down in the lower chakra, where all your pain is stored, where you pack it down, when you eat and eat and eat and stuff it, stuff it, stuff it. You're always trying to hold this energy down and keep it there. And if it ruffles around or moves, I think it triggers some people to eat. I think it triggers some people into depression. It triggers things in people. And so it's a very active, uh, an active reality of trying to make sure to stay hidden from your trauma so that you don't have to deal with it, for all different reasons. I mean, you got people who don't want to make waves. They don't want to cry. They don't want to be a wuss. They don't want to face anything. They don't want to deal with stuff. Like, they're all different things that people, why they hide from their truth, why they don't want to deal with things, why they don't want to face things that have hurt them. But that is what you have to do. And that's what I was saying, is like, all this energy that's coming in right now, that should be pushing you to be very uncomfortable if you're not dealing with stuff. Like, you're going to keep being uncomfortable. You're going to keep feeling like fake, like you're not being real. And the people who are you're supposed to be setting boundaries to, they're going to be coming at harder and harder and harder and harder, because it's like the universe is trying to get you to say, okay, stop. Don't do that. And it takes a lot to push some people into standing up for themselves. And remember, you don't have to be mad. See, this is the whole problem why we have such a toxic DV situation right now, where we've got just like murder and mayhem going, is because people they don't deal with it. And they just get mad and they get angry and then they get reactive. You don't want to get reactive. You don't have to be so, things can be so much more calmer. Like, I don't know. These people who overreact, and just get out the gun and shoot their whole family, whatever, because they don't know how to release their pain or think through their pain or process through their pain. They don't know how to let go of fear and resentment. And these are all things that you've got to work on. Letting go of fear. So huge. Like, all these things going on, see, it brings it up and brings it up. Oh my gosh, this could go on, this could go on. And you think about that. Okay, so the eclipse. So is it just fear to not want to go out and see the eclipse? Or is that being, smart and taking care of yourself because they're going to obviously do something? That's up to each person. You have to decide, if, because fear is also an instinct. Fear can be like, oh, I know something, something doesn't feel right about this. Something feels dangerous. I need to protect myself. So you got to have those natural instincts. You can't cut yourself off. And, but then, you can't just be like, just live in fear, like everything's out to get you and it's dangerous, 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 because that is where they have so many people who are so focused on all of the bad things. And to me, all of this stuff is to just like when the things start seeming overwhelming and bad, like, oh my gosh, you know, like, especially like it's building up and building up the closer we get. And I have to keep focusing on like, okay, but we got all these, the goal is like, this is gonna be good once we get past this part. And, you know, and I don't want to be like, if there is some whole fucking town that blows up or something and they do something horrific, you know, I don't want to discount like, oh, well, those people are gone, but now we got the good stuff. It's not how I feel about it. But I feel like, you know, it's going to be a lot of sad stuff. I look at the different souls leaving as more like martyrs. They're trying to draw attention to things to wake people up. And so there's a lot of beautiful souls out there, you know, that are out there, you know, waking people up um, by being martyrs, by being the ones that have this shit happen to them. And then it, you know, gets people to pay attention and to talk about things and wake up. And so, you know, when a whole big thing happens, you know, there's a lot of stuff because like a whole big town goes, I mean, that's a whole bunch of people probably going home to their own place altogether. They were there for this certain energy. They were there for a release. There's like a lot going on in the spiritual, and it won't always make sense in the physical because it's like the physical is the game and the spiritual is a real life. And so, you know, to me, it's like I prefer to look through life through the spiritual lens of a deeper meaning and what's going on in the bigger sense of things, not just on how things look. And so I go past the fear, like, okay, yeah, that seems scary. Yeah, whatever they're going to do, this seems scary. But, you know, you can't get all caught up in like, I'm so scared. I'm not going to get up. I'm going to go hide. You know, you can't run. Like the woman who was telling me, like, go call the police, find out what's going on. It's like, I mean, for one thing, the police are not going to go up into the woods and start looking for people doing fireworks. And if there is some kind of shady shit going on and they're trying to start a forest fire out here, they're not going to send the police out to tell us until it's time to evacuate. Like everything is a set plan. You can't sit here and just keep being focused on, oh my God, this is going to happen. Oh my God, that's going to happen. Oh my God, you know, because then you are building yourself up to being scared, like they've got control over you. When you've got to keep remembering, no, you're in a game. They do not have control over you. You're in a game. And I would think a part of the game is realizing that you have more control in the game than you think you do. Because we'll see. We'll see when this all transpires. Because I 100% feel like that there is going to be a whole lot of people who, when this energy clicks, when it turns the other direction, that there is going to be a whole bunch of people whose life is going to take off in this great direction. They're going to be the leaders towards, you know, like, look, you know, we can all do this. But there's going to be a lot of people where it's going to be like, oh my gosh, everything's going so good. So there's going to be that. There's going to be things where it's going to be like things are going bad for some people, but that is because it's supposed to wake them up. They're supposed to start healing and working on things. But the people who have been doing that, there's going to be a lot of really, you know, fantastic things, I believe. And that is going to be the motivator. That's going to get people more on track. So it's all supposed to play out this way. But, you know, that's what I keep focusing on. Like, there's some really good shit that's about to go down. Really good shit. And so, you know, and I'm so excited. It's like 2 weeks and a few days now until my surgery. And it's just going like so fast. I feel like it's like, oh, like it's getting so exciting to me. It is like, I don't know. It's so much about this coming back home to self. This girl that I was running from, this girl that I was embarrassed of, this girl that I was ashamed of. And it makes me so emotional. But it was like, you know, I was running from myself for so long. And now it's like it's more, gosh, it makes me emotional. Because then it's more like running to yourself. It's like, it's very strange to go from like a point of being ashamed of yourself or embarrassed of yourself or not feeling good about yourself, and then to turn and to be like running towards yourself, like, you know, like you're sorry. Like, I'm sorry I didn't see. I'm sorry I didn't see your pain. I'm sorry I couldn't deal with what you were going through. I'm sorry that I was trying to please others. You know, it's just, it seems so crazy. And I know, you know, nobody who has, I mean, there's plenty of people who have implants that still wouldn't understand what I was talking about. But, you know, there's some of those things that you have to be in that position to really understand how it is that you could feel so embarrassed about yourself and change something about yourself. And then when you finally, after all these years, because there was like so long that I was so mad at myself for doing it. Or it's been like, odd. It's one of those things like, ugh, what a stupid ass thing I did. And having to carry that burden of that for so long. And it's very uncomfortable. Like to carry something around on you that doesn't fit. If it's squeezed in, it doesn't fit, it's uncomfortable. So you have a constant reminder of your insecurities. And then to finally get to the point of being able to release them and just go back to myself. And it's kind of funny too, because there's like a part where it keeps being like, I don't know I don't even know. Like, I haven't seen my regular body in so long that it's like, you know, I could be like, once they're out, I could be like, oh, damn, that was crazy. Shouldn't have done that. But that'll be just part of the process, you know. That'd be a part, because it's going back to myself. It's going back to my natural self, to who I was born to be, not who I was trying to be, not who I was trying to please others and be, not trying to fit in and be dateable or something, you know. So anyways, I feel super excited about what's to come. And I know there's a lot of really good things. And so I just think it's dangerous to just stay in fear and be like overly cautious. Like, to me, when I say I wouldn't go out and see it, isn't so like I'm be so fearful, just because I believe that they're going to do something. They're going to put some kind of chemical or something, or they're gonna do something, I think. You know, this could all be a big build up, but there is so much happening, and we're in such a time of change, and there has to be some kind of things that are going to create the change. And I don't know, the big thing to me is that this not the moon. That's a big thing, that they're putting all of this alien stuff everywhere around the trail, the place where it's going, the track of where it's going across, to you know, have alien stuff, and closing down schools, closing down businesses. It just seems like a lot extreme. This place has been practicing for 2 years for this horrible disaster that's going to happen, in this health crisis, because they're going to have so many people are going to be sick, where they're saying like there's going to be heart attacks and strokes. There's going to be a whole bunch of heart attacks and strokes because of the eclipse. Like, so that they've got to be so prepared. Like, okay, so is there going to be heart attacks and strokes because you guys are going to crank up the frequency? Or is there going to be heart attacks and strokes because there's going to be shit up in the sky? It's going to scare the shit out of people? Like, I don't know. But to me, it's like, you got to remember, this is a part of the movie. This is the big drama. So no matter how scary it gets, you got to remember you're eternal. You're in a game. You're not home. You can't get hurt. It's just going to be, you know, it's going to be dramatic, whatever's going to be. And if we do skip the eclipse and we go into another week or two of like, okay, so now what is it? Now what are we waiting for? I hope to God that the fucking eclipse is something that changes it, that turns us the other direction. That finally, you know, if it is, that they use this to be like, oh, perfect timing. We'll turn out the power for a couple days. And when it comes back on, we'll have the new money system. You know, it's like, fuck yeah, that would be great. But that's what I feel, you know. But again, you know, there's going to be, in whatever the thing is that turns us the other direction, I believe there's going to probably be a lot of fatalities. That is going to be what is going to be so shocking and scare people and wake people up. Because it is, you got to remember, it's nightmares that wake people up. Just living the dream, you know, just going on autopilot, going to work every day, that's not waking people up. No, it's like when a big old fucking train goes through the street and a plane crashes down on the train and everybody's running for their lives. That wakes people up. So that's the drama that we're going to go through, is crazy drama, because they're just trying to wake people up. So just keep remembering that. Like, the stuff that's going on is meant to wake people up. But there is going to be, because there's all these people who are just so cut off from living in life and stuff. But remember, these souls are just going home. They're just going home. They're not, you know, being punished or something bad's not happening to them. They're just leaving the game and going home. And then the game will keep continuing going forward. And I swear to God, I think that there's some souls that are going to be going, because when the healing starts, it's going to be intense. Like, I know I say this a lot, but I don't think people really get how intense this is going to be. Facing yourself is the hardest thing. I'm telling you, there is going to be people who are going to be begging. They're going to wish that God would come down and, you know, tell them it's all going to be okay, or punish them and send them straight to hell. They're going to wish that something, because they cannot get away from it inside themselves. You cannot get away from it. And when you have something you're not dealing with, it will keep you up all night. You won't be able to sleep, and you will be burdened by what you're not facing. So there is going to be so much trauma because of how much stuff people have ignored and not wanted to face. And when they do, and you got to think about, like, just think, like, I've got certain accounts, you know, like, I'm watching. I want to see how this plays out. I want to see how they handle this and how this all goes. And there is, I mean, just think about some of these people and their accounts. They are cranked up on ego and being fed by dark energy. So it's going to be dramatic, and it's going to, you know, be powerful. And people are going to be, they're going to be all over the place. There's going to be people who are going to be so mad, so sad, is so overwhelmed. Like, it's going to be a very emotional time when this happens. It's not going to just go straight into joy. And even if they do the thing with the money, which I don't know how they'll do it. Like, think about, because in Zimbabwe and stuff, some of these places, like, they've already had their money crash. Like, they've been dealing with some stuff. We haven't even had our money crash yet. So are they going to just swoop in and do it real quick like that? I don't know. It's like this quantum computer is when it's deciding what's going to be the best way to move humanity through this in the least strenuous, the less tension, the best way. So however it's gonna go. But even if they do all of a sudden switch the money out, that's kind of like, you know, grandma just died, but you know, but do you want to go out to dinner? Let's just go have some fun. You know, it's gonna be like that. It's like, no, I'm sad, my grandma just died, I'm focused on that. I don't want to go do something. That's what it's gonna be like for people. They're gonna be like, no, I'm going through something. So what? I have a bunch of money. Geez, like, and plus how it's gonna feel. Facing yourself when you feel like a total idiot. You feel like a total sham. You feel like a total bitch. You feel like a total, ah, because there's a, this whole side of people that they have to face their own dark side, their own bad guy, especially when they're running around telling everybody, you're the bad guy, you're the bad guy, you're the bad guy. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, wait a minute, I'm a bad guy too. And that's where it's going to hurt. That's the part. It's because then you're going to be flooded with all these things you do. I'm telling you, it's best to just get your mindset out of trying to judge others. Is then it's going to flood you more with the stuff that you've done. Just be really willing and open to seeing yourself, to witnessing yourself, to allowing the things you've done to come in and show you. And then to recognize this is about accepting yourself, to see, to accept yourself like for who you are in all your broken parts. And then, to figure out like what parts can you fix? What parts can you mend? How can you make things better? Because you can. And that is an important part through all this to remember. Because there's so many people who just, they don't see their own power. They don't have any hope. They don't feel like they can make things better. Like, they just want out there. It's so weird how they got people so trapped in their own minds, so defeated. So anyways, you have to, it's like, conquer that energy. You have to find your resilience, your own empowerment. And you find so much empowerment in taking responsibility for your choices, not blaming it on others. And when you take responsibility for your own choices, then, you'll make better choices for yourself. You won't be like, oh, well, they made me do it. Well, they made me do this. Well, they made me do that. Well, if they wouldn't have done this, I wouldn't have done that. No, start facing yourself and letting go of all of those kind of concepts of like, well, that's what I did. I totally did that. It's the choice I made. Why did I make that choice? Why would I have thought to do that? Why would I have acted that way? And if you are really stuck, like, because there's a lot of people out there who are just, because they are in pain, they're dicks to other people. And so they have been really hateful. They've hurt a lot of people just by their own pain and them not wanting to see it and being mad, like, well, they're too happy. Fuck them. I'm going to get even with them, like just a vindictive spirit. And when, the spirit mirror comes in front of you and you have to see that side of yourself and see how vindictive and hateful you are, then that's hard. It's a hard pill to swallow. And so, you got to go back in, go deeper and recognize like, oh, I'm not just vindictive. I was just hurt. I was in pain. I went through some hard things that made me hateful, but now I can heal and I can feel better. So I have to, like that guy said, he's gone around apologizing. He was apologizing to teachers, apologizing to family. He's been apologizing to everybody. And now he feels set free. So just remember, you are the gatekeeper. You can set yourself free. It is all by facing yourself and giving yourself the same kind of acceptance as you would give anyone else that you were talking to. Well, hopefully. There's a lot of people who are super, super judgmental and they don't have any, there's a lot of things that I see people do and I don't judge them because I can feel like I can see like, oh, I'd do that same thing. Oh, I've done that stuff before. Oh, I would do that too. Like, to get into that kind of side of yourself and stop thinking like you would do so much better than everybody else. Oh, I could do that so much better. Oh, they're just an idiot. They're so stupid. To see like, oh, if I was going through that, fuck, I'd probably do the same thing. Fuck, who knows? I'd probably do that too. So that is where you have compassion and caring for other people. It's a lot of wasteful energy to keep trying to say that, somebody's a stupid idiot and you'd be able to live their life better. It's like, that's a total distraction. Best thing is just go in and reevaluate yourself and your choices and keep your nose out of everybody else's. Let them reevaluate their own, and even if there was a certain experience and you're like, fuck, that person just would have done this. But they did what they were supposed to because they were supposed to learn. And it's not for us to be the overseer and tell them. We all have guides. We all have an inner uh, dialogue. Well, some people, or they don't hear it or something, but there's an inner dialogue. There's somebody in there to help you through this, to help you see your truth, to help you face your truth, to help you become a better version of yourself. And so, get in contact with your higher mind, your higher self, your more advanced side of you. There's a part of you that's already done this, and that they can teach you and tell you all about it. So that's the part of you that you want to get in contact with. The part of you that can help you, not the part of you that, sits down here simmering and stewing and, looking for other people who are mad and angry to sit and be mad and angry with them. Start looking at things in a more positive, delightful way. And having the idea of like, okay, I've learned my lessons. I'm doing good. This stuff isn't going to affect me. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to chug along. I'm going to keep working on myself. I'm not going to get all caught up, but, stay, taking care of yourself. Don't just, I don't know. I'm seeing some people who are like spiritual people are being like, well, I'm going to go out there and be there the whole, it's like, man, I don't know. Just seems like a setup to me. It seems like that they're setting something up. And, especially when they're putting all that stuff out. And then to just thumb your nose at, oh, yeah, you guys are full of shit. I'll be like, I don't know. But everybody's got to do, what you feel. And the consequences of what you do in your actions are your lessons. So the consequences show you. That's the added part to learn from. So whatever goes on, if you do be like, well, I'm not going to be scared. I'm going to go out and see this. Like there could be aliens. There could be this. There could be that. I'm going to go out and see it. You got to follow what it is you want to do. And if you go out and see it and then you get sick, those are your consequences. And then it's like, oh man, I should have taken it more serious. Like when they keep saying they're going to fucking poison us and they're doing it every fucking day of our life. I guess I should probably, and it's also suspicious too, is that they're saying, oh, it's going to be too overcast in places. I don't know. There's just a lot. There's a lot going on and it's coming up fast. Like on the, this weekend is already all this eclipse stuff, because it's during the week. So these towns have all this stuff set up like it's a festival or something. So anyways, that's, you got to follow what it is you feel. Don't live in fear and deal with your consequences. Follow your inside how you feel. Like, don't just be like, oh, well, they say this and they say that. It is like you have an internal guidance that will be directing you. Like you'd be going like, I've got to go out. I got to go out and see it. I got to just go out and see it. And then you go out and you see it. And even if you get sick, don't be like, oh, I should have never went out. No, you were supposed to. You were supposed to go out. You were supposed to see it. You were supposed to get sick. And just because you get sick doesn't mean you're going to die. Maybe this is your way of showing yourself, hey, I can fight all illnesses. I can fucking conquer this shit. I don't know. Everybody has their own stuff they're here to learn. But don't, just because something doesn't go the way that you want it to, don't think you made a mistake doing it. Because that's not how it goes. There's just a consequence. There's always another side. There's following your action, following your guidance, what it is you want to do. And then there's a repercussion. And sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. And even when it's bad, it's because you're learning something. So keep that in mind. And we'll see. Like there's going to be a lot. There's going to be a lot of stuff that's going to be going on. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But until it does, remember to love yourself, to love everyone, and have a loving day. And I'll talk to you later. Bye.